Hello everyone and welcome to Fully Charged. My name is Henry and this is the Tern GSD S10 Generation 1. It is the pioneer of the compact eCargo bike category and practically redefined what was possible to do with a bike for this size, as it can carry up to a maximum gross vehicle weight of 200 kilograms, whether that's the kids on the back on the way to school, or whether that's doing the weekly shopping or something like that. It is truly an unforgettable bike, to be honest. And we are very, very fortunate today to have Mark Bickerton here today, who is a founding member of the Tern team. And Mark will be talking to us about the new Generation 2 GSD range. Mark, thank you very much for being here.
It's a pleasure. I'm looking forward to it.
Great, great, great. So, Mark, I think a lot of our followers here will know a bit about Tern, but actually, as we all know, there's been a huge increase in demand of e-bike sales across the whole world. And so first things first, for maybe those who don't know about Tern themselves, could you give us maybe a quick introduction to Tern and maybe why I would consider getting one?
Okay, Tern is a company formed in 2011. The original founding group is still very much all together. There's been one or two people come and go, but mostly we're all still together. We started off in 2011 largely as a folding bike company, but we went under the strapline of an urban mobility company. And we had previously, in a previous brand, been involved on the periphery of developing electric bikes, mostly electric folding bikes. But it transpired that when we formed Tern, a lot of the team needed an eCargo bike for their own use. So we pulled together the resources of the whole group and came up with the GSD some 3 or so years ago.
And I think we are actually the first supplier of Tern e-bikes in the UK as well, and we've just been a huge fan of this range since it's come out. And
I think it'd be fair to say you're one of the premier dealers in the world. So
okay, that's good to know. Now, school is currently back, and we are having a lot of parents coming into store, and they're bringing down their kids on the weekends, and they're trying out the GSDs, and they are absolutely loving them. The kids love them, the parents love them. And so, Mark, I suppose as a starting point, what are the key benefits of having a Tern? Why would I want to have a Tern?
Well, you mentioned the families taking kids back to school. This bike, both the original and the new version, are the ultimate car replacement bike. But there are lots of features that make the Tern GSD especially useful, not just as an e-cargo bike, but also because you can store it. It has vertical standing for storage. It fits most people, so you can have anyone from a sort of 14-year-old child up to a fully grown adult man. It's very comfortable to ride. It's stable under load, and that's very important, especially when you've got the kids on board. You want a bike that you can rely upon when you're maneuvering in traffic. And it's passenger ready. We have all the accessories designed, developed and ready to use on the GSD, which makes it a useful product from the word go. You don't have to think about adapting it, designing special features for your particular use. We've thought about all of that in advance.
It's actually a very good point. And actually one other thing I really like about it as well is that you can even probably get it into a van as well, can't you? You can drop the handlebars down, which is quite a nice feature.
I came back from the Eurobike show last year with 4 GSDs, 2 HSDs, a Vectron and 2 folding bikes and a load of accessories, my luggage, all in the back of a Ford Galaxy. Okay, I didn't have any other passengers on board, but yes, I mean, you can wheel this into the back of any estate car and it will fit.
It is incredibly deceptive, and that is why I suppose loads of families love it, especially in urbanised areas, especially in
its wheelbase is no longer than a conventional bicycle. And because you've got folding handlebars, if necessary, you can take the seat post out
as well.
Take the saddle, take the pedals off. You end up with a long, thin package, and you
store
can
it in the cupboard, Mark.
Well, it's the same thing as the vertical storage concept.
Yeah.
You can have a line of 6 of these standing here, in the space of that window. I mean, it's fantastic. So compared to any other cargo bike, that just leaves them all standing.
Okay, so actually now going into a bit more depth into the Generation 2 range, I suppose sort of its key USPs that we're going to go through now. The first one is it's got a new motor. Okay, so the previous Generation 1 model has the Performance Line Generation 2 Bosch motor, but in comes the Cargo Line motor for all of the new models of the GSD for Generation 2, and that is a Generation 4 Bosch motor that comes with 85 Newton meters of torque, as well as 400% pedal assistance. So, you know, really any type of load that you get on there, you're going to be getting a help out with it as well, which is great. It also comes with an updated frame, Mark, doesn't it?
We've worked very hard on taking what was already a groundbreaking design of frame. It was perhaps it appeared to be a very over-engineered product when we launched the original one. Well, we've gone and even more over-engineered it again. And the reason for that is that it makes for a stiffer ride. So we've taken the old GSD frame, stiffened it up, we've changed quite a lot of the frame tubing, made it wider, fatter tubing, we put in internal gussets, which means that the frame tubing itself is not just a hollow tube but has a bar going across in the middle. That makes for a hugely improved stiffness of the front end. Having done all of those changes and improvements to the frame, we then submitted it to the EFBE testing lab for the electric cargo bike, or the cargo bike standard, which is adapted for electric bikes as well. And it passed with flying colours. We believe that we are the only compact electric cargo bike company that has subjected our bike to that standard. And indeed, the original GSD was used as the flying test bed for writing of the standard. So we're very confident that we've made a superbly strong frame.
So it also comes with a new Atlas lock stand, doesn't it, Mark?
It does. So some people will be aware of the fact that on the GSD Gen 1, we launched an Atlas kickstand as an optional upgrade. We've further developed that for the Gen 2 to make the Atlas lock stand. Now, the great thing about the Atlas lock stand, I'll demonstrate it before we do anything else. You just press a little lever on the handlebar here and you roll the bike forward and it releases. When you put it back, you don't need to touch the lever, but it's as simple as that. The critical thing about the lock stand is it means that if you have children on the back of the bike, or you have cargo, you need to be able to access the stability of having the lock stand and taking off the lock stand easily. And this is the answer, and it's absolutely perfect.
Cool. So we actually also have some new accessories with the Generation 2 model, some of which aren't actually with us today.
I apologise about that.
That's absolutely fine. So what have we got, Mark? Give it to us.
Okay, so firstly, I would like to talk about the Clubhouse Plus. Again, with Generation 1 GSD, we had the Clubhouse, which was universally accepted as being a brilliant addition to the accessory range. However, it had a few failings or shortfalls that could be improved upon. One of the particularly important things was to be able to fit two YEP child seats inside the Clubhouse. So what we've done is the new Clubhouse is designed in a modular fashion rather than fully welded all the way around. And you'll see that the one that we have here is set up for maybe two small children, age 6 or 7, something like that. But if you want to have two, you might like to get the child seat, and we can show that. If you want to have a child seat in the back, then we have an alternative bar for the back of the Clubhouse Plus, which goes on the back here, which allows you to put that in. You can actually have two in there, and because this bar sticks out a little bit further, it allows it to sit back about there, and the other one goes in front. Thank you very much.
No worries, you can put me in it if you want.
Every Clubhouse comes with both bars, So you can alternate, sometimes you might need it, sometimes you may not. So set up with its standard configuration of the straight bar, it is designed to fit exactly a Euro crate, 600 by 400 millimeter Euro crate, which for transporting cargo is brilliant. Of course, you can fit another one on the front. You can use the transporter rack, or you can use the hauler rack that we've got shown here. And the next accessory I want to talk about are the Cargo Hold 52 panniers. These are a huge improvement on the previous version of the Cargo Hold pannier that we ran with Gen 1. The first thing to note is that we now use these Fidlock quick release buckles. Simply undo like that, and they are magnetic, so they clip back on again. The Cargo Hold pannier is huge, 52 litres.
Jesus.
So when it doesn't have the Clubhouse on board, you can have this app huge like that and pile it with a load of stuff and leave it open if you want. If you want to close it up, you can roll it up as I showed and then use the Fidlocks. And if you're carrying children in the Clubhouse like this, you can use it in what we call bucket mode. Bucket mode, you just fold the insides in.
And then you put the kids' feet in there as well.
And you put your luggage or your shopping in there, and yes, the kids' feet go in on top of the luggage or the shopping, but it is really nice and safe. If you don't have luggage and shopping and you're worried about your children getting cold or wet feet, they go in there.
There's your answer.
And following on from the Cargo Hold pannier 52s, you'll remember on the GSD Gen 1 that we had the Sidekick lower decks as an optional extra. That you had to bolt onto the side of the frame. We now have the integrated Sidekick decks, which are the part of the frame in yellow down below here. They are built into the frame, and that's another part of the improvements that we made on the frame. Again, it structurally makes it a lot stiffer, but it means that for many people that's sufficient extra support for your bags or that sort of thing. We now have the Sidekick wide decks, which are an optional extra on the GSD Gen 2, which you can see here in black. And those allow for a lot more support for your luggage or for your passengers' feet. Again, the standard integrated lower decks are there for most people, but the wide decks are there for when it's required for carrying extra loads or luggage or passengers. Sadly not with us today, but we have the captain's chair and the Joyride handlebars, which effectively makes a very comfortable cockpit for your passenger.
So yeah, there's also new gearing options with the GSD for the S00, which we have here. You've got the MVOLO hub, and that is continuously variable transmission. And that also comes with the Gates carbon belt drive, which, you know, as we all know, requires less maintenance, less oil, well actually no oil whatsoever because it's made out of cord, it's obviously a lot quieter as well to go through the gears.
As standard, you also get the fully enclosed chain guard as well.
Yes, of course. And then with the R14, which is the highest spec, you also get the roll-off, okay, so that is the 14-speed E-shaft hub as well. So one other thing to note as well is that all of the new models come with the rear brake light apart from the S10 LR.
And the LX models come with the Ignis headlight, which has 700 lumens.
Brilliant. So the last thing to say is that all the new ranges come with an ABUS frame lock, which is on the front suspension fork.
Which is key-to-like with the batteries.
Key-to-like with the batteries, indeed. And also all the ranges have a trailer mount as well. Great, so that brings this video to a close. Guys, Mark, thank you very much for being here. You are quite honestly the fountain of knowledge when it comes to all things Tern.
I'm not sure about that, but hopefully that's been useful for potential customers, and I'm sure you're going to sell billions of them.
We hope so, So thank you very much for watching, guys, once again. Please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and do like this video as well, and we hope to see and hear from you all very soon. Cheers.